and on your easy choice for soft hits, 95.9 FM, WEZC.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio this morning is Mrs. Karrah Jensen. She is the Assistant Superintendent of Clinton Schools. Mrs. Jensen, good to see you. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you, Seth.
Yeah, glad you made it down here in this
know.
crazy weather. What is this?
I don't know, but it was a trip, that's for sure.
March 16th, and there's snow and ice on the ground.
That's right.
This is ridiculous. I guess it could be Easter and there's snow on the ground.
I mean, it's happened before.
It has happened before, sure. But at any rate, we do appreciate you making time for us. And, one of the things, Mrs. Jensen, we've talked with that Mr. Goebel has talked about, the school board has taken up in recent months, is this idea of instructional coaches in the district. And this is going to be a new thing for the district starting next year. It's going to be a pretty big change, I would say. Let's start with, first of all, just kind of some clarity. What is an instructional coach?
Sure.
What is their role in the district, and why are they needed?
Well, those are a lot of questions, so
Sure.
I'll try to break them down. If I don't get to all of them, please let me know. But I would start with first, what is an instructional coach? So an instructional coach is really job-embedded professional development. It is a teacher with experience who, whether that be with the current curriculum or just success in the classroom as well. It's a way for the district to invest in the instructional supports of their teachers and really look for ways to support our staff with that job embedded. Right now, our professional development model is a lot of outsourced things. So, for example, if we have new curriculum, let's say in our reading curriculum, we look at the consultant from that company to help support teachers. But typically that's get a dose of it and then they leave. And so with that, we can have a combination. We still can support from the outside with our consultant, but then we have instructional coaches to help with that fidelity piece of it, to answer then questions, to support with whether that be modeling lessons or whether that be supporting lesson development. So really we now get the best combination of professional development for our teachers.
Sure. So what will this look like in Clinton schools?
So tonight at the board meeting, we are recommending there's 2 coaches that we are looking to hire, and that those coaches will be K-5 for that first year, and really looking at a way to first build relationships. That is the number one successful factor in a coaching model, is trusting relationships. As educators, it is our craft is very personal, and we're very passionate about that. And so now we're opening up our classroom to someone else to come in and support. You have to be a bit vulnerable in that. And so it really is about building relationships to start, that our coaches are here to support teachers. They're not supporting administration. They're not supporting the district level. They're really for the development and support of educators. And so some of that might come in, like I said, that might be co-teaching. So a coach may come in during a reading lesson and support by co-teaching with the teacher. It could be meeting with them, with teachers weekly, to look at lesson plans. Are we really sticking to the non-negotiables of the curriculum? It might be development of small group lessons as well. So the coaching model or program really has a different way to meet a variety of teacher needs. It's not necessarily specific to one thing. Where again, if you heard in when a consultant comes in, they deliver and they're out. So this gives us the greatest widespread development of teachers, because teachers are able to kind of do what they're comfortable with.
Sure. Gotcha. So why is this necessary? And I guess we'll start with where would this be at in the district? Would it be district wide? What grade levels? And again, why is this necessary?
So when we started looking at this, was a conversation that has been had over several years. Instructional coaching is an evidence-based professional development model. So it really has a lot of research behind it and the power of instructional coaching. However, it was a conversation that was started several years ago. I think it really became very relevant when we did get our latest set of school designations. We have through K through 5, we have 2 comprehensive schools and 1 targeted school.
Mhm.
In the model of school improvement, that is on the lower end of where we would like to be at.
Mhm.
And so we had to look at things differently. Okay, what's working for our district and what could we change to support instruction? And that really kind of then continued that conversation in development of instructional coaches. With board approval, we were able to post for those and then hire. I really do think we've hired a great supportive team, but also their development is going to be important too,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And so if you don't come with a background of coaching, we really do have to provide development on both ends of that.
Mhm.
So it really did start with a conversation a few years ago, but then the need was more relevant when
Mhm.
our current designations came out.
Sure, sure. So when it comes to the report card data that
Mhm.
you referenced, I'm sure a lot goes into breaking that down.
Mhm.
What specifically told you the path was instructional coaches?
Well, I think one of it wasn't necessarily a direct relation to the report card data. What we're also seeing is an alignment with our curriculum.
Mhm.
So in this past year, we have taken on 2 new ELA, English Language Arts curriculums. We have
Mhm.
taken on a reading program and then a foundational skills program, and think of that more around in phonics or word study. So we've asked educators to take on 2 new things in a year. And while that might seem on the outside, well, that seems simple, right? You just take the manual and you deliver the content.
Mhm.
It's not quite that easy.
Mhm.
You're making instructional decisions daily on what is best out of that manual to deliver to your students. And so when you look at alignment in the classroom, instructional coaching can help ensure that a student's experience is equitable. So no
Mhm.
matter if I'm in Seth's classroom or Karrah's classroom, we have similar experiences in the contents that's delivered.
Okay.
And so a coach helps to align that in conversations, in helping with lesson development.
Mhm.
So what we were seeing over the years in Clinton is that there was a lack of alignment at times, and not necessarily inside the grade level, because teams do work together very well, but it was happening from grade level to grade level where their experiences were a bit different in what they were getting exposed to in the curriculum.
I see. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Very good. Mrs. Karrah Jensen is the Assistant Superintendent of Clinton Schools, our guest in studio this morning as we discuss instructional coaches. This will be a new venture, endeavor, if you will, for the district starting next year. A lot of folks, and this is a question I've gotten a lot, is just people talk
Mhm.
to me, is, this sounds like these are things teachers should just have at the ready
Sure.
already. They should be equipped and
Mhm.
ready to teach. Like an instructional coach
Mhm.
sounds like you're taking them back to the school level,
Mhm.
the training level. How
Mhm.
about that?
Sure. Well, I think we have to change our mindset of what that is, because an instructional coach isn't there to necessarily teach the teacher.
Mhm.
That's not what this purpose is.
Mhm.
There is guidance involved in that,
Mhm.
and so it is based in those relationships of improvement.
Mhm.
And so I think whenever we look at ourselves as adults, and anytime you're in a job, yes, it would be great to say, Seth, you're going to now learn a new computer system,
Mhm.
and you, because you've had experience in a different computer system, you should be just fine to handle that new system.
Mhm.
It doesn't really work that way.
Right.
I'm sure behind the scenes, you have support desks that you can call. Behind the scenes, you have others who have been using it. And so we all experience that in different ways in our jobs.
Mhm.
And so to say a teacher should have everything they need, I think would be a bit naive of a district to come in with that mindset that
Okay.
we don't need to continue to develop our educators, as
Mhm.
education is also changing at the same time.
Sure, sure. Mr. Goebel, I thought, made an interesting point when he was in here last talking about this, is that the term instructional
Mhm.
coach is probably not the most accurate depiction of this.
Mhm.
How would you like, is there a phrase, is there a better way to put this that
Mhm.
you could relate to the community
I don't
about
know.
that?
I think, then we're wordsmithing it, right? Then
Mhm.
we're saying that if I the term is different, right? I could say that we have we'll call them lead teachers. Well,
Mhm.
even that, right? We put a spin on that and our own perception of what
Mhm.
that might be.
Mhm.
So while wordsmithing it might change just the terminology. I think the importance and the success of the program is really building the understanding and the why for the district.
Right.
So we could change the name of it. We could say lead teachers. And again, we're still going to put our perception until we get into the meat and potatoes of it and see that there is great outcomes that can come from this. And that's up to the district to start building that, building the why, building the understanding, building the relationships. And so I take that seriously, and knowing that a program's success can make or break with just the simple of like building that why behind it.
Well, and then I mean, wordsmithing's a great word. I really like that a lot. And you start doing that, and then you get teachers in the district that maybe have a lot of seniority, and they're like, well, I've been here longer, and I should have this title, and then you get caught up in the titles and all that. So I'll tell you what, Miss Jensen, I look at the clock. We could use a break here in the next few minutes. Did I miss anything in just the basic why of this, or the how of this? Did I miss anything in that conversation you want to put out there?
I just think it's important for the understanding that it is here. Our coaches are here to support teachers and in their instructional practice. We would love everyone to come in fresh out of college, equipped to do all of the things. And the reality is that's not what we're seeing, and that's not accurate. And so we do have to be open to looking at things through a different lens for our district and how to best support instruction.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you what, on that note, like I said, let's take a break. We'll come back, talk some more with Mrs. Karrah Jensen. She is the Assistant Superintendent of Clinton Schools, our guest in studio. More to come with Mrs. Jensen on the morning show.
WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Monday morning. I'm Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network. Corn starting today lower, beans double-digit lower, wheat also in the red. May corn opening 461 3/4, down 5 1/2. July corn down 5, 473 1/4. December new crop 487 3/4, down 3 3/4. May beans starting today 1188 3/4, down 36 1/2. July beans down 34 1/2, 1203 1/4. November new crop 1145 3/4, down 15 3/4. May Chicago wheat 605 1/4, down 8 1/2. May KC wheat 630 1/2, up half a penny. May bean meal 316 even, down 670. May bean oil 65.88, down $1.56. Energy markets, April crude oil 95.20, down 3.53.
March into Baum Chevrolet Buick and march out with a new Chevrolet. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. We have over 20 Silverados to fit your daily work needs in 1500, 2500, and 3500s in gas or diesel, all sale priced. Also, check out the Colorado pickup. This size and maneuverability may be another option as well. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. Baum Chevrolet Buick, right from the start.
I'm Ben Lowers, and I'm running for DeWitt County Sheriff. Clinton isn't just where I work, it's the community that raised me. For 25 years with the Clinton Police Department, I've lived, worked, volunteered, and served alongside you and listened to your concerns. I'm running for sheriff because I believe DeWitt County deserves a leader who is deeply invested in our future. An experienced leader who balances a passion for proactive crime enforcement, embraces a supportive atmosphere, and who leads from the front and shoulder to shoulder with his team and the citizens he serves. I'm Ben Lowers, and I'm asking for your vote on March 17th.
Paid for by citizens to elect Ben Lowers.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guest in studio this morning is Mrs. Karrah Jensen. She is the Assistant Superintendent of Clinton Schools. Our guest in studio today talking about instructional coaches. And Mrs. Jensen, I wonder, what does the implementation of these coaches look like?
Sure.
You know, and I don't know if we should talk about, like, does that look like training them first, or
Sure.
I guess where does that start for you?
Yeah, it definitely starts with their own professional development. And so we want to commit to their growth as much as committing to the investment of our teachers. And so to get started, we do have some sessions that they will be attending this spring. And so just really kind of starting at the basics of what is a coaching model, how to build relationships. And some of this may be very natural to our coaches. However, we want to ensure that they both have the same baseline. Then over the summer, we'll be working on some communication tools that they will implement, like how to reach out to a coach. I mean, obviously through email is going to be the easiest, but we will put some together kind of a coaching site of what they offer, how they can support. That sounds very formal, but really a lot of what the that first few months will be a lot of informal. We have new teacher orientation that will start. So any new teachers that are hired go through a 2-day orientation in Clinton. And so part of that is curriculum, and part of that is meeting with grade levels, and that's already been embedded, but our coaches will be a big part of that. All new teachers who are hired will, in K-5, will be partnered with a coach to help support the curriculum aspects and the starting of a new school year. A lot of times we get teachers who are novice teachers right out of school. And so they've learned a lot instructionally, and then you have to apply it, which are two different things.
Sure.
I can learn about all the best classroom management techniques, but until you are living it every day, there is a lot of uncertainty that comes with classroom management as well. And our coaches can also assist with that if needed. But that development of the coaches will continue through the year. There is opportunity that they have a cohort that they'll be able to be a part of with other new coaches in a different district. And so kind of partnering them as thought partners. And so that start of the year will be embedded in that first institute day, getting to know, and then also really kind of listening and hearing our teachers of what the needs are for future professional development.
Sure. You mentioned you're bringing to the board tonight the hopefully the approval of those positions. How much emphasis was put on keeping people within the district, maybe promoting them to this position, or what was the emphasis in this search?
Well, also keep in mind that the positions not necessarily are a promotion. And so I just want to clarify that. I think that's important to note. These are our teachers are part of the union, the instructional coaches. They are teachers alongside teachers. That's actually a really important clarification, Seth, because they are not in a hierarchy per se. They are teachers alongside teachers. And so that's how you kind of embed that trust, is that they are one of them, right? And so us over here at times where we want to work collaboratively, but it is teachers working with teachers.
Gotcha.
And so go back to your original question. I'm sorry.
What was the emphasis? Was it keeping
I see. Yes.
folks in house,
So
or
when we started looking at applicants, we wanted to ensure, of course, anyone within our district who had an interest in it, we were able to hear from. We brought in outside as well. Our goal was to look for the best fit. So whether that be an internal candidate or an external candidate, we wanted the best fit for the district. And so we had to really look through our candidates in that way, who is going to best support teachers, and whether that be bringing some expertise behind them or whether that be institutional knowledge of being an internal candidate. We were looking for the best candidates.
Gotcha. Sounds like you found them.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm excited to get started. We have a lot of work to do,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a lot of work to do to build the why behind it to be able to create a successful program.
Sure. You know, one of the things you spoke to, Mrs. Jensen, was the importance of relationship building. And for, I'm sure for these individuals, this is going to come pretty naturally. But how important is that in this job?
Relationships.
Yes.
For our coaches, it is number one. It is job responsibility number one. Without a strong working relationship, a trusting working relationship, there will not be success in the program. And so we have to come in with that knowledge of we have to put the time and effort into building that first before we can do anything. It's really the same with our students. We get them day one, and the first thing we ask them to do is right away start building those relationships, because you want kids who want to work for you.
Sure.
And it's the same for adults.
What will this look like? You talked about the teachers being alongside teachers. What will this look like from an evaluation standpoint?
So they're a member of the union, so they're under the same union contract. They'll be evaluated by their principals. So a coach.
So they won't be evaluating the teachers per se.
Another great clarification. I'm glad you brought that up. No, this is not an evaluative model. If that were the case, again, you're breaking that trust that you are coming in to judge or to look for areas that might be concerns, instead of really spotlighting the strengths and then supporting those areas that we need to develop. So it is not evaluative at all.
So, okay, what does it look like, maybe on a day-to-day basis? I mean, is this person going to be in a classroom at all times, and how does that work?
Well, the day-to-day looks very different according to the day, but in general, it could be that they are pushing into classrooms to support in co-teaching. Maybe they're going in every Monday and Wednesday to co-teach a reading lesson, and then on Thursdays they are meeting with teachers to support instruction and planning. It might be also planning professional development for the building according to staff need, but it also could be just observing and supporting that way. So the day-to-day looks very different. It is definitely not as structured as a standard schedule for a teacher in the classroom. It also might be gathering resources for teachers where they're taking very intentional time finding ways to support that area that they wanted feedback on. So it really looks different day to day.
Sure. Another way to say day to day is day to day. And I know you
very
mentioned,
good lead in.
Yes,
very good tie-in.
I was thinking that as you were talking. I'm like, I got to find a way to do this.
Right.
Very quickly though, I've only got about a minute with you.
Sure.
Talk about the just evaluating data in real time and this position.
So part of the job responsibility as listed on the job description was analyzing data. Now at the school-based level, that is done on what we do call data days. They are 3 times a year. They look at what additional supports that we can put in place for students K through 8 in both social emotional, reading, and math, and whether that be a tier 2 or tier 3. But our instructional coaches will help look at classroom-based data. So that might be end of unit reading assessments, that might be math assessments with teachers, and then taking that data and say, okay, do we need to implement this group of students into an additional small group where they're getting another dose of, let's say, fractions, because our data is showing that these students might be underperforming. So, or do we need to develop more centers where students are rotating to get additional practice in that? So while the global data is at that building-based level, our coaches will look at more centralized data at the classroom level.
Sure. Quickly, how soon will we see an ROI on this?
A what?
Return on investment on this.
Oh, sorry, I was not familiar with that language. I would say that one of the things that is going to be a success factor is in number one, the intensity of our instructional coaches' schedules. Okay. So are they busy?
Sure.
That's going to be a big one. And number two, are teachers seeking out that supportive help? It will have a return investment on our classroom data as we start to align our practices throughout the district.
Sure. Very good. Mrs. Jensen, thank you so much for the conversation today. Great stuff. Mrs. Karrah Jensen, Assistant Superintendent of Clinton Schools, our guest. Network News on the way.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, along with 92.3 FM Clinton and 106.5 FM Bloomington Normal.